Welcome to Season 2 of the San Jose State Dynasty. I know it took like 2 weeks to get another one out, so I apologize for that, but this is me trying to learn the new setup that I have here, and hopefully everything sounds good, looks good. You can let me know, but here's the depth chart that we have for Season 2. I did consult with the people of what they want to see at quarterback, and Walter again will be the team starting quarterback for the majority of the season at the very least. Worst case scenario, things go bad in the last couple of weeks and we're not in a position where we can make a bowl game, and then we maybe throw SCACCIA out there just to maintain his red shirt but still get him some playing time. But best case scenario, again, takes us to maybe a 6-win season, gets us in a bowl game, and we turn the reins over to SCACCIA in Season 2. But we'll see how things unfold. We did not do all that great last year because we went on a big losing streak at the end of the season. We did pick up some players in the transfer portal, have some freshmen starting. And while we did have a couple of nice additions, we also lost in the portal. Our starting quarterback, Emmett Brown, wanted to leave. He did. Our starting running back, Chalk, left, and he was one of our best players on the team. We lost Nick Nash to the draft, and now this team doesn't have like a clear-cut star. The offensive player that we're most excited for is Jabari Bates, but even then, he's an undersized running back. Who knows if he can handle the workload that we might be wanting to give him. On top of that, he was already banged up last year. At least we did pick up a couple of nice D tackles in the transfer portal, including Swanson from Arizona State. The linebacking core, still less than ideal, but we're going to be starting Jaleel Bloom as a true freshman. Cornerback is probably where the strength of this team is, where they got two 80-plus overall players, and maybe if things go right for them and they get the right amount of progression, they can go to the NFL as a day 3 pick. But the schedule isn't gonna be super easy. I mean, obviously we have the usual Mountain West schedule, but Stanford, a rivalry game, a team that we're going to be playing a decent amount in this dynasty. And then we also tacked on Arizona State, somewhere where Swanson came from at D tackle, and we'll be playing against his former team. We're going to be sticking to our recruiting rules that we set for ourselves in Season 1, where we're not going to be going after really any 4 stars and definitely no 5 stars for a large majority of this dynasty, because we're not going to be good enough. So if we ever get to the point where we're a ranked school and getting double-digit wins, we'll put the 4 stars on the board, and we're not touching 5 stars until we are like a legit contender playoff type of team, because that's the only way that really makes sense to me as a realistic side of things. It's like I said before, it's not going to be a 1-year turnaround, and also it's going to be harder on ourselves because we're letting whoever wants to transfer. Somebody that we pull in that's a big recruit for us says, yeah, I don't like it here after 1 year, and they want to walk out the door. They're going to be able to do that, and we're not going to be able to convince them otherwise. Now, because of the new setup that I have here, and I'm able to actually make videos that are a little bit longer, you can let me know how you want to see the structure of not just this series but other videos going forward in terms of the length. Before, I was restricted to being only able to do videos under an hour long, but now I can go over, as you can see by this video and the video that I just put out. So I just want to know if you'd rather me stick to the as close to an hour as possible, or you want to see longer content. Maybe you want to see even shorter content. I don't know. Maybe I'll drop a 3-hour video. Maybe I'll drop a 30-minute video. I have a lot more flexibility with what I can do. So for this one, we're not going to be able to have to skip out on as many plays before, because I was always working on like a time crunch to try to fit as much stuff as I could into an hour. And a lot of you guys did like the faster pace and just squeezing as much stuff into 1 hour as possible. But I also do feel like I was missing out on a lot of stuff and missing out on showing you guys more stuff. So we have about an hour and a half here to show you more plays, more stuff from the team. It's still going to be the same format though, same structure. We're going to be viewing mostly just the 4th quarter, maybe the occasional 3rd quarter, but it's going to be the same format and the same structure, just you're getting more of it. So that's just up to you guys and what you want to see. And with the new setup and stuff, I want to know any feedback. Is the audio good? Is the picture good? Is the quality good? Is everything good? Because I'm still learning. It's a learning curve for me, jumping from the very minor stuff that I was working with and the lot of restrictions that I was working with, and now trying to just jump fully into all of the new stuff and all the new features and tech stuff that I have here. So it's a learning curve, which is why videos have slowed down a little bit, but I'm trying to figure everything out. And, you know, I'm just kind of talking over the recruiting here, as the start of the season's always a little bit longer with the fact that we have to do, you know, the preseason recruiting and the scouting, and then here is the week 1 and the week 0 stuff. But we're finally ready to get into some in-game action, as we have spent all of our points just about, and we are on the field. Home game, week 1, and San Jose State, coming off a rough year last year, looking to kind of figure things out in this transitional period of this team, taking on Central Michigan. They ended the season last year with what, like a 7-game lose streak? I don't even remember. It was bad. But regardless, we're handing off to Messina, and you can already see a little bit of an issue here as Jabari Bates has gotten knocked out of the game. Are we going to fare one of our best players out? But we're throwing it deep, and again, he's got Messina, and I guess no Jabari Bates, no problem as the backup. He's going to get it in the passing game for a touchdown, San Jose State, and we take a 21-14 lead as Central Michigan has a short run, 5 yards. Now sweeping it outside, that's going to be blown up in the backfield, and a 5-yard loss, so right back to 3rd and 10 to start the 4th quarter, as he's going to throw underneath. Running back's got it every play, and it's going to be 3 plays, 3 stops, and the defense gets off the field. But here we are with Storm Torrance and Messina having to fill in the role, and Messina's doing a good job right now, but no Jabari Bates. It's already a bad sign for what's to come this season, as Messina gets 2. 2nd down and 8, play action, and everybody gets in. That's a sack, and now 3rd and 14. Again, it's going to throw outside. That's going to be for the tight end, and he's going to lose a yard, having to punt the football away, and now Central Michigan with it. Ball swatted, 3rd and 14. Defense can get off the field here, is going to get a pass thrown out of bounds, and the defense gets the stop. Now Messina, he's looking pretty good for a backup running back. He didn't do all that much last year, but it seems like he's taken a step forward, and maybe we can handle ourselves without Jabari Bates. Another back getting in the action here as again throwing on 3rd and 4. That pass is going to be brought in for a 1st down. It gets over 300 on the day, and he's going to try to add onto it, but it's incomplete. 4 minutes to play in field goal range. Messina, you can just play it safe, kick that field goal, get the 2-score lead. Messina up the middle, and he's reaching, not quite going to get it. No need to go for it here. You trust the kicker. He's got it through the uprights with a 10-point lead. We just need to not let a collapse happen. 2nd down and 10. Central Michigan underneath. That ball's broken up, so the defense holding things together pretty well as they're going to get another play. That one should have been intercepted, as with 2:40 to go, outside, that's knocked away, and the defense is going to probably put this one away, but the offense, for good measure, is going to try to make it a 3-score game. Hand off to Messina. He's got another touchdown, and San Jose State shuts the door on this one. A 25-point second half, and a really good performance. Again, I mean, only 50% completion percentage just about, but look at Messina. Jabari Bates, 8 carries, 14 yards, got knocked out. Storm Torrance, our true freshman running back, even got in the action. But Messina, really good. 88 yards on the ground, a 70-yard touchdown, 3 total on the day. For a 73 overall senior, not too bad, but we are going to hope that the injury is not a long-term thing for, you know, Jabari Bates. As good as Messina played, we can't be counting on that, especially when we get into a little bit more tougher opponents. Jabari Bates is the best player on this offense for a reason. So moving on to the rest of the recruiting, we are still kind of in that phase when you're starting the season, where you're in the feeling out process, trying to figure out who's the guys that you really want to go for, especially when we are restricted to just these 3-star players. You know, it's going to be hard, especially when it takes 50 hours to scout somebody. So it's really limiting what we are able to do. And that's part of the challenge here, because I didn't go out there and make my coach a guy who is going to be able to just scout in 30 hours. I was hoping maybe one of our coordinators could have some of those abilities to do that, but unfortunately not. We are able to scout some positions at 30 hours, but most of them 50 hours. And, you know, when we get a bust, it hurts all the more. And when we get a gem, it makes it all the more rewarding. But in week 2, Tulsa is up 26-9 on San Jose State, and things are not looking good for San Jose State to potentially go 2-0 as the offense has really faltered. Only single-digit points, and Tulsa looking to add on, trying to get past 30 as it's 2nd down and 9 now, dropping to throw it. He's got a clean pocket, he's going to run it, and he's got room, man coverage, and that means it's going to be room for the quarterback to go take off, but this time he's going down, and a field goal try is going to be good. That makes it a 20-point game, which means it's going to take a pretty big miracle, but that's a nice throw from Aguette. Okay, well, we got something there. Aguette has played pretty adequate so far, as that's going to be Lane, the freshman receiver, getting in the action, and we're excited to see what Lane can do for us, but again, that's pretty bad pocket movement and awareness from him, as that's a big pickup on the blitz from Storm Torrance, but it's not going to result in anything. 3rd and 21, Aguette taking a shot deep. There's a flag down. That ball's knocked away, and they're looking at the Tulsa defender. Could that be a late hit? It is a late hit on the quarterback. Roughing the passer is going to keep this game watchable at least, but I don't know about that. Not a late hit, that's a pretty on-time hit. 5 sacks on the day. This offensive line was the big weakness of the team coming into this dynasty. We did some stuff to help it, but it's still not a strong unit. 4th down, another flag, and is this drive going to continue again? Yes, it is pass interference, and they just won't let this one end, as Aguette will hand it off. He'll go up the middle for a 6-yard gain with under 4 minutes to play. Now, this game probably over. Can we at least tack on a touchdown? Doesn't look like we scored one all day, as a lot of time in the pocket. That's going to be throw outside, caught, and that's going to get him a 1st down to the 11-yard line. So maybe just a little bit of morality points here for the touchdown, but no one's getting open. Someone, please, get open! How is no one open? Who are these receivers, man? That is ridiculous. Okay, I can't even blame Aguette, man. That's just crazy. 3rd and 9, Aguette, he's getting sacked. It's, oh my goodness, 4th and 19. It's incomplete, and Tulsa is gonna win 29-9. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's an issue. Again, I mean, for 4 picks though, for all the struggling to get open that these receivers had, that is not a good game regardless. But Darko Lane, 98 yards, pretty nice for a 2nd career game. And as kind of predicted, Messina was not going to be able to hold up for what he was, doing in week 1. And speaking of holding up, this team ain't holding up pretty good at all. Jaleel Bloom out for season, Jabari Bates still down, a lot of other players hurt. So injuries kind of biting us right now, and that is not something we want to see, especially considering this team is already lacking talent, and we're losing out on players. We're losing out on, starters and young players. At least we do have a win on the board, because I was worried that if we started 0-2, the other 2 non-conference games against Stanford and Arizona State, we're not exactly expecting to win those games, and we'd be very surprised if we did. So I was worried we wouldn't win one of these first 2, and then we'd go 0-4 out of conference to head into conference play. At least that's not going to happen, so at least if we're taking a positive, we got that. Now recruiting, we got some guys in their top 5, so we're moving along quickly on some of these guys, and I mean, we are not really pinpointing or targeting a specific position. I mean, I'd like more receivers. I'd like more offensive linemen. I think cornerback is a bit of a need, since we are going to be losing out on some of our guys graduating. But overall, this team does just need about everything except probably a quarterback, which if we're going to not need a position, I think quarterback is probably the one we'd pick. So we are fortunate in that regard to have SCACCIA for the future, but coaching quarterback can only take you so far. We still have to bank on the development of SCACCIA, and we also have to bank on the fact that hopefully I'm the right coach for the team. So maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll get fired. Maybe I'll get thrown out of San Jose State and have to find my footing somewhere else. We're gonna hope not. We hope this is a one and done when it comes to finding the right job, but coach firing is on. Even though the expectations for this school were low, I'm pretty sure when I signed the contract, it was like get 4 wins a year. I think we can get 4 wins this year. If we don't get 4 wins this year, maybe I deserve to get fired, as we're taking on Stanford, number 14 in the country. And to no surprise, it is 28-7 here early in the 4th quarter. That ball's knocked away. 3rd down and 11 handoff. It's going to be blown up in the backfield, and that's going to be just a gain of 1. We're getting the football back. So if you go out in here and score a touchdown, maybe you have a slight chance again, struggling to be over 100 yards on the day. 107, no touchdowns. As again, throw it up the sidelines. That's caught on the run. He's going to get into the 10-yard line, and there's a big play. 38 yards, handoff, and that's going to be blown up. Storm Torrance getting 12 carries on the day, so nice to see Torrance getting involved. That's carry number 13 for him. Does that mean Messina's injured too? As a get goes down, 4th and goal from like the 20-yard line, throwing it in, so that's gonna be intercepted. And Stanford running it back the other way, trying to take it the distance, but they're not going to. And Stanford, with 4:30 to go, is going to just try to run out this clock. They are going to get stopped though, so the defense gets a 3 and out. Maybe one more try for the offense to look competent, to look decent, to put something together, as it's going to be a catch for a 13-yard gain. 3rd and 7. Again, middle, that should have been picked off. 4th and 7. Maybe the last play we'll have here. That one should have been picked off too, as Stanford will tack on another field goal, put it away, 31-7. And I can't really say I'm surprised by the result, but again, what in the world? 7 carries, negative 19 yards. What happened there? A long of 3. Okay, again, how do you even lose 19 yards? Did we just run toss plays to him? I don't even know what that's all about. I mean, I guess valid to put Storm Torrance in. I don't know if it was injury or just bad performance, but Storm Torrance at least was adequate, but negative 19 yards in a game. That's a pretty special performance there. It's making that week 1 game look a little fluky, little ridiculous compared to what he's done in the last 2 games, but at least we have recruiting to fall back on as some sort of positive thing to look forward to, because at least recruits can, you know, help us out for the future of this team, because I know ain't no game against Stanford or Arizona State or any other team in the Power 4, Power 5 if we want to bring back the Pac-12. Maybe we'll bring back the Pac-12 if we become good enough and, you know, formulate it like they did in real life, but it's just not looking like we're going to be getting there anytime soon. At least we're in the top 5 of some players. It's something to be excited about a little bit, especially for a receiver in Tyrone Mechie, who, I mean, you see how struggled these receivers are. I can't tell how much of it is the quarterback's fault or the receivers, because you have some single play examples where no one's getting open, but you also have Walter again slinging 50% completion percentage and under and throwing picks every game. You know, that week 1 game, I know it was a good performance, but it was Central Michigan. You can't be playing as bad as we played against Tulsa and then playing as bad as we played against Stanford. I mean, at least Stanford, you can justify it because Stanford's a 14th ranked undefeated team, but you can't be putting up stinkers against Tulsa. No disrespect to them if there's any Tulsa alums in there, but your school ain't exactly, you know, football powerhouses. Got more players added to the board. You know, we're kind of phasing some players in and out of the board, and we're adding some more guys. Not going to be able to scout them all, but let's throw scholarships on every single one of them. And let's hop into another game here, game 4. And before that, we have a little injury update, as Jabari Bates is still going to be gone for a little bit, but Arizona State, the opponent here, and they're number 22 in the nation, and San Jose State actually in position to maybe pull up an upset as Messina gets a big run, get short drop, now backs up a little bit further, and he's going to get it out to the tight end for a gain of 7, again the I formation throwing it, and that just hits a lineman, I'm pretty sure. Okay, fullback dive, look at that, look at the old school fullback dive, it's 4th and inches, come on, go for it guys, I have aggression to 100, you gotta go for it on 4th and inches. Okay, man, 14-9. If you want to pull up an upset over a ranked school, you gotta be aggressive, especially when we only got 9 points on the board and we were in position to score. He's trying to hurdle people, and he's getting to midfield, play action. And the quarterback for Arizona State, interestingly enough, is Jalen Daniels, you know, the Kansas quarterback, so pretty fun transfer for Arizona State. Good run to set him up inside the 20-yard line, and another handoff. Now they're at the 10-yard line after a 6-yard gain. Daniels with an RPO, he's gonna get it lit up on the tight end, and now on 3rd and 4, conversion inside the 5, down to the 2, goal to go, and a direct snap. He's got the touchdown, and Arizona State's got the 10-point lead, and you really should have went for it on 4th and inches, because now it's a 2-score game, and you are in a spot where it's going to take a lot to make a comeback, and this one again is going to have a completed pass knocked away from the receiver, so now it's 3rd down after the incompletion, and a big strike over the middle. That's just a tough one to make, and it's going to be Arizona State football, and suddenly this game that was a one-score one could be all the way up to a three-score game in just mere minutes. At the 5, handoff up the middle, touchdown, and Arizona State up 28-9. And man, what happened in this one? As that's a big shot taken. This team's just getting lit up, and another play. Again, is just getting bullied back there. Oh man, 3rd and 18. Again, clean pocket for once, and he's got a play to the tight end, turning it upfield. It's actually not bad. 16 yards, 4th and 2. As he's going to throw a short cut, and that's DeMarco Lane, and Lane's going to get to the 49-yard line. At least want to see some of these young guys like Lane get involved in the passing game as a completed pass for another first. So it gets stringing together some completions, but Arizona State's just playing off. They're just letting them get it. So, you know, basically some garbage time stuff, but another big shot, incomplete pass, 3rd and 1. Get underneath, got another completion. They give him forward progress to the first down, 27-yard line. They get deep. End zone, knocked away, and now on 2nd down and 10. Again, is gonna get sacked, and he fumbles the football. Lineman picks it up. He's running backwards. He loses 17 yards. This is just brutal. Feels like we got some nice protection for like 3 plays, and then that happened, and then now 4th and 22. Okay, a touchdown out of nowhere. That came in. Onside kick is going to be scooped up by Arizona State, so that's going to do it. Arizona State, we actually had a chance in the game. I think the real turning point was not being aggressive enough on 4th down. If you go, you score a touchdown, it's a one-score game, you get a 2-point conversion, you tie it up, and if Arizona State goes down and does what they do and score a touchdown on that next possession, it's still a one-score game. Instead, you kick a field goal, you let Arizona State score, you turn it over, let them score again, and by the time you score to get it in position for an onside kick, you're down by 12, so it was not really going to happen regardless. And now you're sitting here at 1-3 after non-conference play, and 1-3 is about like the minimum of what we would have wanted to see for this team, because we weren't expected to beat Arizona State, you weren't expecting to beat Stanford, so that's 2 losses on the board right there. You were hoping you can win one of your 2 non-conference games against Tulsa and Central Michigan. Optimistically, you were hoping to be 2-2, but 1-3 doesn't really bother me at this point. It's going to be a real, turning point though when we get into the conference play, because this is where we're expected to do a little bit more, because we're not facing a team as good as Stanford or Arizona State, because we're not even facing Boise State this year. Boise State's the best team in the conference, and we're getting to dodge them this year, so that's huge. That could potentially save us a potential victory. So I think a bowl game is possible for this school. We would need to win 5 of our conference games to do that though, but I think it can happen. But we'll never know until we get into the games, and in the game we have against Utah State, it is a 2-pointer. And now San Jose State with the draw to Messina, who has been really just hit or miss. Either he's having an incredible game or he's having an awful game. The screen outside's going to be caught for a gain of 7. And a get to throw middle. That's going to be caught for the tight end. And inside the 15-yard line, in position to take the lead. But can we get the touchdown? Messina goes down for a gain of 2. 7:30 to play. And a handoff. That's Storm Torrance. And Torrance is going to get it to 3rd and 4, where again is going to look. And he's got nowhere to go. He's getting sacked. And the field goal for the lead is going to be through the upright. So we have a 17-16 lead. And Utah State getting stopped for a loss of 1. Dropping to throw, and a lot of time, but not a lot open down the field. He's got a check down for a gain of 9, so good job there. And now finishing it off with a first down carry to the 40-yard line, and now a cut inside. The run game starting to get going for Utah State. They're going to stick with it as he's got another solid run. You get 4 or 5 yards of carry. You can get yourself all the way down the field as they're once again going to get another 4 or 5 yard carry. Backups in. He's got a cutback lane, and he's got 11. So the run game for Utah State, incredible. I need to know what our edge rusher is doing. I need you to rewind that play and go look at our left edge rusher. That is the widest contain I have ever seen in my life. Maybe that's why we can't stop the run. And it's looking like we can't stop the pass either, as a completion inside the 15-yard line. Hand off middle, and that's another 5 yards. And Utah State looking for the lead. He's close to the first down marker as they throw it. 3rd and 1. End zone. Caught for the touchdown. And Utah State has the lead in the 2-point conversion. Outside. He stopped at the line, and it's going to be a 5-point game. And now Utah State coming out on defense. But San Jose, we got some time. 3.5 to play. Now down to 3 at 2nd and 4. Touchdown will give us the lead, and the 2-point conversion will put us up by 3. But we can't think ahead that far, as we still have to get to the enemy side of the field. 2-minute warning is hit. 2nd and 8. As again, hit as he's throwing incomplete. 3rd down and 8. Again, and he's throwing it deep. He's got 2 defenders in the area. It's going to be incomplete for a 4th down. Last chance. Middle. That's caught, and a big play, clutching it up for the 1st down. And now at the 47, drag right underneath. Tight end's got it for 9. Again, yet to find the end zone through the air, and he's going to probably need to do that if we were going to win this game. Again, he's got it, and now gets a block. He got around the defender, and it's a touchdown. And the 2-point conversion is going to be stopped, so we're only going to have a 1-point lead. But we do have the lead, and a minute to play. Utah State finds themselves in a big chunk play gain. 29-yard line. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time in the pocket. Someone's got to get there. He's got an open man, and it's caught at the 40-yard line. Now nearing field goal range. He's got a big one, and now they're definitely in field goal range, and a timeout used. Goal to go. At this point, you just maybe should let them score with 40 seconds, as they're going to go outside, keep getting stopped, keep getting dragged down. San Jose State out of timeouts. They center the football, and with time expiring, kick is good, and Utah State pulls off the victory, and that is brutal, as we had the lead very end of the game. Missed that 2-point conversion, but man, the defense has to do a little bit better than that to just stop them. 60 seconds to go, and they provided 0 resistance to let them get into field goal range. And it wasn't just field goal range, it was chip shot field goal range. That's the worst part of it. You couldn't even make them really stress a little, sweat a little. You're making them kick a 20-yarder. At least you got to hold them to 40, 50 yards, something, but just nothing there. And unfortunately for us, we're going to be moving on to 1-4 in the year, and that was one of those wins that we could look back on in the year and say, if we miss a bowl game, or if we, one game short of any sort of accolade, whether it be conference standing, bowl game, anything. I don't know what the season has to hold for us, but if we are falling 1 game short of whatever we're chasing after, you could look back at this one and say, that might have done it, because that's one of those games you gotta win if you expect to go to a bowl game, if you expect to make big strides and improvements, winning those close games. Now, advancing to the next week, we actually do have Markel getting committed to this team, so nice wide receiver on the board. But another close one here in the 3rd quarter, as it's San Diego State at 4-2, us at 1-4, looking for win number 2 on the season, as it's been big losing streak to end last year, and now 1-4 to start this year. Things are looking rough for this team, but we're going to hope we have something cooking here in the second half of the year, as we are heading to that midway point. Again, 3rd and 4, throwing it down the field. That's intercepted, and San Diego State is going to take it into enemy territory, and it's just looking rough, man. It's just not good. I mean, at what point do you think of making a QB change? I think we have to ride it out a little bit longer, but if we lose this game and we fall to 1-5, things are really going to be pushing a potential just throw the red shirt away for SCACCIA and maybe just see what we have in him. But I would really not want to do that, as we get a 4th down hold and the kick is good. So it's still a 1-score game. We can't freak out too much, as it's just 2 points, but it just hasn't looked good. Again, throws it deep for an incomplete pass. 2nd down to 10. Got time, only a 3-man rush, and the check down's going to get us 2. 3rd down and 8. Again with the free rusher, and he throws basically the same play. Gets one, punted back to the defense to try to make a play here, as the run is going to get them 9. Another handoff here, and as it's already been showing in this defensive performance that we're putting up this first half of the year, running the ball up the middle is definitely a sore spot, and I thought it wouldn't be an issue when it comes to the fact that we got those 2 D tackles, and I thought they'd provide a little bit more resistance as the pass defense does their job to hold them to 4th down, and we are back, and just still no Jabari Bates as Messina still at running back, and a deep ball that's tipped around and almost picked off. 3rd and 4 again. Come on, we got something here wide open. There we go. Just need to get some momentum, some movement. It's still just field goal game for us. As again, he had his back turned to the defense. What is he doing there? Again, throws another check down. This is brutal. It's just check downs and no one getting open, and deep balls. Finally, one is caught as it's going to be Lane with the big play. Now it's at the 20. Messina for 1, but we have a field goal in our back pocket. Just don't throw it away, as again is going to throw underneath. That ball was kind of bobbled a little bit, but he's got it for another 1-yard gain. And then the end zone, touchdown to Marco Lane. And he's kind of been a standout receiver for us, I feel like, and maybe our brightest spot on the passing game. In a year where we're looking for positives, that could be one, as a defensive stop here would be massive with a 5-point lead. We were not able to get things done in a 1-score game against Utah State, but can we do it this time around? As that's a big play. He got knocked out of bounds, but he still hung on, and now a short run for a yard. Dropping to throw it. He's going to go underneath and trying to sprint to get as many yards as he can, set up a 3rd and manageable. They're going to run it, and just no resistance again, and it's a big run, and he's got it all the way to the 21-yard line, 24 yards. Just keep it going on the ground, and another one, sprinting to the end zone. He's down to the 1-yard line. Finish the drive. He's got it, and the run defense is brutal. 2-point conversion, back of the end zone. He's got it. 3-point game, 24-21, and another tough, close game. And we need to learn as a team how to win close games. He's hit in the middle, but that is a big grab. Okay, again, delivering. Middle again. This time did not deliver a completed pass, but 2nd down, the screen set up, and that's blown up. He tried to get it to Messina, and it's just loss of 4. 3rd and 14, knocked away. 2 minutes has hit, and now 4th and 14. He's got it. No, it's knocked away. It looked like he had it, and instead, it's going to be an interception. What is going on here, San Diego State? You could have ran the football. Instead, you threw it away, and San Jose's got the score. DJ Harvey. That is a awful decision. You cannot throw the football into coverage in that situation, and San Diego State might have thrown away a chance at their 5th win of the season and to compete at the conference championship. You need to win probably 8-9 games if you're going to go to the Mountain West title. San Diego State was in line to potentially do that, but losing a game to San Jose State could be a backbreaker for them. And now San Jose State trying to rally, trying to get that defensive stop. Ball thrown out of bounds, 2nd down and 10. Dropping back, sending an extra man. That ball's knocked away with a diving deflection. And now the blitz sent in. He's going down. Sack, 4th and 20. Another blitz. He's got the completion. And he's got it at the 1st down marker. That was so close. But now San Jose State, they need the touchdown still. He's got plenty of time. I didn't even think they need to stop it with the spike, but they did. They still have a timeout in their back pocket. And that was almost picked up by Harvey again, as they have another play underneath. 4th and 6, now game on the line. 39 seconds to play, and an open man. He's got it inside the red zone, and that's the final timeout. Blitz sent in. It's gonna be almost caught. He had it, but he couldn't bring it in. It just was a back-breaking play, and now the defense 2 plays away from ending it. He's hit as he's throwing. One more play. 4th and 10, end zone. Tipped up in the air. It's incomplete, and San Jose State holds on for the victory, and that is a stroke of luck. That ball, I think it was a little low. He had it though, like an open man. We blew the coverage, and he just couldn't bring it in. I don't know what happened there, but we caught a break. We caught a bit of luck, and we have our 2nd win of the season. So 2-4 at the midway point, and now it's that Utah State game is a real bummer to lose, but at 2-4, maybe we can go on a little run here and just try not to let cost us victories because he's not played well. Jabari Bates will be back, and probably within the next game or two, depends on when the bye week falls, but Jabari Bates should be back by at some point. I mean, we've missed him sorely on the offense, and maybe some of Aguet's struggles have been attributed to the fact that we're missing our dynamic, explosive little running back, and Messina's just the complete opposite, just a high floor, low ceiling, unspectacular type of player. Recruiting as well hasn't been amazing. I mean, we haven't been getting many commits. We have the lead on a couple of nice players, but you know, it's just been a battle, as we're not exactly the most convincing school to go to at this point. I mean, what's even our pitch to come to San Jose State? The sun, the nice weather. You can come to California maybe, but there's plenty of schools in California you can go to, so even then. But look at that, 99 speed on a gem corner, 3-star at 6'2". And I think a lot of attention's gonna be going on that guy. A 6'2" corner with 99 speed. Yeah, that might be somebody we have to just send a lot of resources into, and maybe we found ourselves a little bit of a star in a position of need. Cornerback's a big need. But moving on to the next game, we have a matchup against Nevada. It's another one-score game. We're down by 8 though to start the fourth quarter, as we are dropping the throw, middle, caught, and it seems like we have a lot of safety blanket tight ends on this team at least, and they all just kind of blend in as generic white guys wearing number 81, number 83, number 80, whatever. As now Aguet throwing it deep. He's got one-on-one coverage. Questionable to throw a go ball with our running back out wide, as is a sack on 3rd down and 18 on the run, and that's going to be swatted away. Yeah, really going to question why we're throwing a one-on-one ball to our running back. That's just not exactly a move in what 8 minutes to play. Nevada can try to tack on some more points. 123 yards on the ground. Man, I'm disappointed with our D-line as a big play, and now a busted coverage again, and it's a big play all the way down to the 1-yard line. And now Nevada, QB draw, blowed up. At least we got the stop there. Now 2nd down and goal. We're going to need to try to find out some way to stop him, and that's just not going to happen. Nevada up by 2 scores. And it just feels like even though the secondary will have its good moments, just a busted coverage will sometimes happen. And that's what happens when you just don't have stars across the board. We got 2 nice corners, but the safeties are less than spectacular. Our nickel isn't anything special. Messina, speaking of not special, flag down. And this one is going to be a hold, and that is going to set us back a fair distance, 1st and 19, and we're still sticking with the ground game. And there's Messina getting a lot of the yards back, 10 yards. He's actually having a solid day, 14 carries, 81 yards. Yeah, I can't even complain about that. Tight end grabs it for a gain, and now 3rd down and 4. Again, middle, again, just sitting in between the zones, and this team utilizing its tight ends pretty well. And again, stop running screens. It just don't work. He can't get the ball out quick enough. That's the 5th sack, and I can't with this quarterback just throwing checkdowns left and right. He's going to go underneath on 3rd and 21. I can't even say a manageable 4th down. A possible one, though. Deep ball over the head of the receiver. And now with 3 to go. Man, again, his style is just check down or chuck it deep. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's just ridiculous, you know. And I just feel like maybe the scheming or the play calling, I don't know what it is, but if he ain't throwing it within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, he is not throwing it anywhere other than just down the field. We do get a stop, and I mean, we need an onside kick and a touchdown. Messina, I don't know why he didn't go out of bounds there. That was costly a bit for time at least, and getting hit over the middle, 3rd down and 5. Again, outside, caught. Okay, there we go, big play, and he's gonna get leveled, but he's got it to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10. Again, he's gonna break out a 1, and that could have been a fumble, but they say forward pass, and now, oh my goodness, our tackle got bowled over. Messina stepped up on the block again. Just nowhere to go with it. Just, oh my goodness, the plastering of the defense, and that's a big play. And now a spin move. He gets free. Touchdown in San Jose State. That's a nice play there. That's something, but an onside kick is going to be what ultimately decides it. And Nevada scoops it up, and that will be the game. So a really cool play at the end there to get us within 1 score. So, you know, in the stat sheets and in the final record book, it's going to go down as a 1-score loss, but we all know the truth there. It wasn't really much of a 1-score loss. We just kind of scored at the end to make it look a little bit closer than what it was, but you can see the tight ends here, 7 catches between them, and then everywhere else, it's just, you can see the yards per catch and the drops and everything. It's just brutal, man. I don't know if it's, you know, a get in how he's playing or if it's the play calling at this point. I can't tell, because it's just the same thing where he's just throwing check downs outside, throwing it away, and then maybe he'll throw to the tight end on a little like hitch route, little curl route sitting between the zones. And then if it's not that, he's just chucking it deep. There's no intermediate game that this offense has, and that's concerning. If you can't attack in that 10 to 15, 10 to 20 yard area, the defense is going to have an easy time just, you know, umbrella up top with the coverage and, you know, play deep, make sure you have a body on a body, and then just cover the check downs. If you don't got to cover that intermediate area, you're not making the defense pay. And we aren't making him pay. He's not even attacking the middle. So I think there's got to be some sort of figuring out in that regard. And when we eventually do move to a different quarterback, if the point comes at which that's still an issue, that's more on the coaching, not on the player. But still, it gets got to do better with taking sacks and everything. We got Fresno State here, 2-2-5 teams. These two duking it out to find out who can get out of the basement of the Mountain West Conference. As a screen outside, there he goes, down the sidelines. He's gonna get caught by Harvey, but inside the 10-yard line. Just no one was there, and the handoff is gonna be right at the 1-yard line. Fresno is gonna go play action, end zone, caught, touchdown, and a 2-score lead. Now there we go, San Jose State. Maybe some trickery to help us out. That's not going to go anywhere. End around gets blown up. Do we have anything else in our pockets? Anything in our bag to do something? There we go. Attack in the middle of the field. That's what I want to see. Intermediate passes. As a get is going to just hand for Messina. Man, where is Jabari Bates? I feel like he's like milking this injury at this point. It was not that bad of an injury. Here goes Storm Torrance, spin move, and Storm Torrance is going to get the first down. 1st and 10 to get to the air, and that's going to be brought in. Now goal to go, trying to cut this down. Get the touchdown, please, man, because I don't trust this defense to make a clutch stop, I feel like, as they're going to hand it up to Messina. Game is just about 1/3 down and goal from the 5, and a get goes down, and you got to kick the field goal. It's going to be through, 1-score game, but confidence not all that high at this point. As a sack. Okay, there we go, defense. That's the first sack of the game. 2nd and 19, and that's gonna be fine. We'll take that. 5 yards. Drop into throw on 3rd and 14, and there's another sack. Okay, we're gonna get great field position here. 46-yard line. 2 minutes to play. Can we finally get a clutch touchdown or just something to be excited about here? Messina on the toss. He's gonna get blown up and no gain. Might have even lost a yard, but 3rd down and 1. There you go. Find a safety blanket underneath. Move to 2nd and 1, where it gets gonna go outside. That's caught. DeMarco Lane, and DeMarco Lane down to the 7-yard line, and Messina, he's gonna get 2. 2nd down and goal. Dropping to throw it underneath. Caught. Touchdown. And San Jose State has tied this game up, and now just hold for overtime here. 2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. As he's gonna go middle again. This time it's also broken up. Okay, 3rd down. They're gonna run it, and we are going to overtime here. Now let's try to get this 3rd win on the board. Messina, no gain. Just typical stuff there in the ground game. Underneath, another check down. Messina for 2. How about 3rd down? A sack. Oh, you got the ball out, but it doesn't matter. Same result. Field goal try is good. Now the defense. Touchdown will win it for Fresno State, and they're already moving it well. That's going to be a gain of 11. Defense needs to hold them to 3 as they're going to throw on the bootleg. Swatted away. Okay, 2nd down and 10. Underneath. Caught. He's going to run up ahead and get to 6 yards. 3rd and 4. He's throwing for the win. It's knocked away, and a field goal is going to be out for a 2nd overtime. Kick is no good. He missed it wide right, and that was a chip shot field goal that goes in the favor of San Jose State, and a 3rd win on the year, where a get actually played pretty nice. 66 completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a lot of yards. Messina is still lighting it up on the ground with a whopping under 2 yards a carry. And Curry and Lane, DeMarco Lane's been really fun to watch. He's been really the most fun player on this offense, it feels like. And defense is all right, but we got the field goal miss in overtime, and at 3 wins now, we're starting to find our footing a little bit, and I don't think it's out of the realms to win a bowl game, or make a bowl game, I guess I should say. But in order to do that, we would need to close the season pretty strong and win 3 of our last 4. But we've won 2 recently. We got Dexter Holiday here. Unfortunately, it looks like we're probably going to lose him, you know. It's a real struggle to know when to pull out a certain stuff like that. That's one that you got to back out of. You're not beating USC there. Basically, there are so many instances where we're doing all right on a prospect, and then one good school decides, you know what, we might actually want this guy. And the second they look his direction, he's not going to really pay us much attention anymore. He's going to look at UCLA. He's going to look at USC, look at even schools like Cal and all them and say, yeah, you know, I'd rather go there than, you know, rot away at San Jose State. You know, for all the trash I'm talking on, we are still trying to make this team good. I'm on your side. Whoever watching this video, maybe a San Jose State fan or San Jose State alum, maybe from the area. I don't know. I live about as far away as possible from them. But Colorado State is going to demolish them. We haven't had many blowouts this video, but one here. Colorado State 42-6, and it's right back to the status quo for Walter again. And at 3-6. You know, if we would have won this game, it would have been different. If we were at 4-5, I probably would have just, you know, rode it out. But 3-6, I get looking bad again. I think we're at a point in which we might need to make a move here. And so the strategy for the last 3 games of the season, obviously, bowl games looking unlikely to win our last 3 in a row to make it. Could happen, not something we're banking on at this point. So how this will work, last 3 games, we will have Brett SCACCIA be playing. Walter Agett has kind of proven that he's not the guy for this team, and he's not going to be really the person we're putting all of our eggs in the basket of, as he's not going to get us to a bowl game. With the way he plays, the structure, he's very limited, very unspectacular, and there's too many just straight up bad games. He's had maybe like 2 good games all year, and then when he's not having a good game, it's just a straight up bad game. He doesn't have okay games. So in order for us to keep a red shirt on Brett SCACCIA, I believe it's you can't play 4 or more games, or it's appear in 4 or more games. Obviously, SCACCIA has been buried on the bench. He's not been doing any like holding for kicks or anything. He hasn't appeared in a game yet. We got 3 to go. So what we're gonna do, Brett SCACCIA will be stepping in as the starter for us because we want to see what he can do. A lot of you guys wanted him to sit, and I did agree. I wanted to keep that 5th year red shirt on him if that potential situation ever popped up where he'd play a 5th year for us. But at this point, we have nothing to lose. 3 games, he's allowed to play for us. Let's just see what we have in him, see how excited we should get for next year. He's got a lot of stuff that we are excited about, elite development, freshman quarterback. So Brett SCACCIA has led us to an early 21-9 lead over New Mexico, and the defense seems to be playing a little bit better, only allowing 9 points as they're going to throw underneath. That's going to be caught, and that's going to be stopped for a gain of 9, 32-yard line. Throwing outside, caught for another first down, and he's at the 34-yard line. But this defense just needing to keep him out of the end zone here, and we could be pulling off a 4th victory on the season. 7:30 to go as they're going to throw an incomplete pass. 3rd down and 4, trying to get off the field on defense, but they're going to convert again, and this time they got more. Catch and run inside the 35, down to the 33, handoff, and he's going to cut it back the other way and get a 3-yard gain. 6:20 to go, and another handoff up the middle, trying to power his way through. He's got 5 more as they're going to throw on 3rd down, and that's going to be another conversion. And we just can't get off the field on 3rd down. Screen blown up. Okay, good 1st down play. 2nd down, good 2nd down play. Can we get off the field on 3rd down? As no, we're not going to. Well, we technically did get off the field, but not in the way we want to, as we're going to be down to a 1-score game. At least they had to go a long time to get there, but we could go 3 and out, and this defense could be well on their way to being back on the field, and they will be. And that's brutal, as the punt is going to be blocked. The kick is blocked. Are you kidding me? New Mexico has the lead. Oh my goodness, come on. As the 2-point conversion is no good. And Brett SCACCIA, I mean, he was up 21-9, and he got 3 plays, and all of a sudden now it's going to be 21-22 on the kickoff, and that's going to be nowhere to go, just back to the touchback line as SCACCIA. And what a debut would be to lead his team on a game-winning drive, as SCACCIA is over the middle. Caught. Tight end. Got it. Fighting for the first down. I mean, this is basically our bowl game lives here on the line. Both teams fighting their butts off for a bowl game. New Mexico, if they win, they're probably well on their way. San Jose State, if we lose, we're not going to one. As that ball's knocked away. 3rd down and 10. SCACCIA is going to throw outside. That's almost picked off. 4th and 10. Minute 50 to go. He's going to throw a pass that's knocked away. And the defense has to come up with a stop. As the timeout's used, we can't allow a field goal. I mean, technically, we can allow a touchdown, but you can't allow a first down, as that is probably going to do it. We're in that point where the clock is, we're going to get like 10 seconds, but I mean, unless you block a field goal here, which you're not going to, kick is good. 11 seconds. Jump to pass the kickoff. Hail Mary try. It is incomplete. And that is a brutal loss, man. I mean, up 21-9. And allowing the touchdown was one thing, but the blocked punt, scoop, and score. SCACCIA for a debut. Pretty nice. 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 60% completion percentage, no turnovers. I mean, that's more than what you can ask for. Jabari Bates finally back. Look who decided to show up in this one. As Jabari Bates and Brett SCACCIA, maybe a exciting duo in the backfield, but still just not able to get it done. It just feels like we can't win a game right now as we are moving on to the final 2 games of the year, and bowl game is just not available for us anymore. At this point in the season, no bowl game left to achieve, nothing really to play for other than the fact that we get to see Brett SCACCIA play, and that's gonna kind of be the appeal of the final 2 games, is just to see what Brett SCACCIA could do, because really nice debut, I think. I mean, you stack his debut next to a Get, and it's already going to be one of a Get's better games of the year, and that was just his debut, so, you know, you could think that things could be looking better. So the final 2 games of the season, we're going to see what we have for next year, as I knew this year would be a bit transitional and that we'd be kind of floating around 500. The goal was 6-6 to get to a bowl game, but obviously not able to do that. Now we will hop into a game against Hawaii, and 2-8 Hawaii, 3-7 San Jose State. Wow, what a exciting game here, as that's going to be DeMarco Lane. Okay, maybe it is a little exciting. Excuse my sarcasm, but DeMarco Lane's got it inside the 10. Handoff Jabari Bates, and Jabari Bates has got it to the 4-yard line. Let's start off the 4th quarter with a handoff. Jabari Bates to the edge. He's down to the 1-yard line. Bates not had a great game, but he will finish the drive off with a touchdown. And San Jose State, a rare sighting for them this year. They're up by 3 scores. And Hawaii, who found a team worse than us, as Hawaii's going to slide down for a gain of 4. And Hawaii thrown to the outside. That's going to be caught. Short game. Like I said earlier in the video, our contract basically said, hey, you know, get 4 games, win 4 games in a season, you're all right. Well, this could be win number 4, especially if you stop them here on 4th down, as this is basically their last opportunity. If they don't get this, we're going to be set up with a chance to go up by even more, as they hand it off, and that's blown up in the backfield. And now the offense takes over. SCACCIA with a free rusher. He goes down 2nd and 17. Play action. SCACCIA taking the shot over the middle. That's what I want to see. Taking plays over the middle. Handoff Bates. And Jabari Bates fighting his way to the 2-yard line. Handoff again. Bates with another touchdown. And San Jose State up 35-10. And things are looking a lot better. And it might be Brett SCACCIA. He could be the real deal on this one. I know it's against Hawaii in a late season game. Doesn't mean a whole lot, but SCACCIA is at least giving us some hope, as a sack is going to drive him back. That's 4 on the defense. I feel like SCACCIA is making everybody play a little bit better. That one's almost picked off, taking it over, and Jabari Bates, he's got 3. Now 34-yard line, 4 minutes to play. We're in shoot clock mode, but let's see as much of Brett SCACCIA as we can. He is not a runner. I don't think he should be taking those. Kick, though, on the way is good. 38-10 is your score, and we'll wrap things up here with the highlights, and that's a big play for Hawaii to the 47-yard line. Now another throw underneath, caught, breaking a tackle, and he's got a first down. 43-yard line, 2-minute warning, as we are looking to wrap things up for a 5th sack of the game. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the team in this one, as that ball's knocked away. 4th and 17. I mean, might as well go for it if you're Hawaii. Not really anything to lose here. That one could have been picked off, and that's gonna do it. 38-10 in the most impressive game of the year for us, as SCACCIA. About 3 touchdowns, 400 yards, and a 75% completion percentage. See, the thing is, if you're going to go out there and throw 2 interceptions, throw 70+% completion percentage, throw for 400 yards, throw for 3 touchdowns, as DeMarco Lane, 160 and 2 touchdowns. So, freshman to freshman connection here, as the sacks were plentiful for the defense today. And Jazario Kalu at wide receiver, potential wide receiver. He is an athlete, so we'll see what he'll end up actually be playing. I'm not going to stick all the athletes at their recommended positions, but we're in some battles here. George McGinn would be an awesome guy to get, speaking of another athlete, but I've been looking for a new running back. Jabari Bates, obviously, upperclassman guy, going to be gone pretty soon. And Storm Torrance he's nice, but not really a high ceiling type of player. I'm looking for a legit running back. This team is going to need a really good running back to function. Last year, we did have Chalk and Jabari Bates being a nice duo, and they had a great year together without the injuries, but this year it's just not been the same. Messina's just not that guy, and Jabari Bates has been hurt all year, and even the few games he has played, he hasn't been as good. He's been good in the receiving game. He just needs to do a little bit better on the ground, but we'll be heading into the final game of the year and maybe try and get ourselves to 5-7. I'd be pretty okay if we went 5-7, especially, closing the season fairly strong. I mean, we did start 1-4, so if we round out the season, 4-3? I think that math checks out. I think that's going to be pretty okay. You'd always want to, in a situation like this, finish strong. I expect to start slow when you're rebuilding a team, but if you're finishing strong and giving the team, some signs to be excited about, something to cheer for, then I think it's going to be okay. But let's wrap this season up in a game against Wyoming, where San Jose State's looked 22-14. A lot of the games have kind of floated around this 14 to 21, 22-point area. So, pretty consistent output with what you're getting in points allowed, points forced. But SCACCIA is going down, and now on 3rd and 18. Hit as he's throwing, and that ball is going to be a little low. So now Wyoming takes over, play action, and he's going to go underneath. That's going to be cut, and stiff arm out of bounds. That's a gain of 4. Under 8 minutes to play, and another handoff. This time, he's going to get stopped and get just to a 3rd and 4 situation. Play action. He's got time in the pocket. He's got an open man, and that's caught. First down. And now Wyoming outside on the bubble screen, but that's got 2 defenders out there on him. And 2nd down and 9 is going to swing one out, and that's caught. So a lot of swings, a lot of bubbles, a lot of screens, a lot of rollouts, a lot of short stuff for this Wyoming team. And then one shot deep is going to be caught to the 10. Now down to the 3. It's stopped in the backfield. 3rd down and 5. He's got time in the pocket, but eventually pressure gets in. 4th down and 5, and he's gonna get sacked in the pass rush. That's the first sack of the game, but it came at a crucial time, and now they get to take over on offense. Jabari Bates having a better game on the ground. Toss play out to him, and he's gonna go nowhere. 3rd down and 10, 2-minute warning. Having a little end around. I don't know if that was the time to call it, but risky play call does not go in our favor. That one's almost picked off. You gotta up with that one. That could have sealed it, as that ball's going to be knocked away. Good job. 3rd down and 10. Gotten close to a couple of picks and another one. Now you're about to see one of the craziest things I've seen in this game. 4th and 10. Ball tipped around. It's intercepted, but they say 1st down Wyoming. What is this game? What is the riggery going on here? 1st down Wyoming. We picked the ball off. We should be winning this game. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how. That's 1st down Wyoming, but they have the football. They're going to keep it rolling. 3rd down and 2. We should be having this one. We should be done, but they are going to stay alive. Handoff, middle. He's got the first. Does he? He's got 2nd and inches. Okay, they don't give it to him. They're going to spike it. 3rd down and inches. He could run it here, but they got it the completion underneath. It's going to be timeout used. Goal to go. And if we lose this game, it's a touchdown. We got to stop the 2-point conversion as they hand it. He's got it. Are you kidding me? Are we just not meant to succeed? Throwing it deep. That's knocked away. We could be going to overtime. SCACCIA outside. Caught. Okay, big play. And now SCACCIA again. He's going to go deep middle. Knocked away on a diving swat. 2nd and 10. 25 seconds to play. SCACCIA taking the shot middle again. I appreciate his attempts to throw over the middle of the field, though. As he tries it again. That one's incomplete. Okay. We're going to be going to overtime with one more handoff. And What the heck, man? We should be done here. We should be winning this game as SCACCIA. Well, you're gonna overcome some of the ridiculousness that we have seen. Jabari Bates, he's got nothing as they're gonna go play action. And how about a check down underneath to one of the tight ends who's going to run up ahead for a 3-yard gain. 3rd down and 7. SCACCIA, he's got an open man. That's Jabari Bates in the middle. Touchdown! And now we're close to winning this game again as a sack is going to drop him back. 11-yard loss. How about 2nd and 21? He gets mowed over and the guard got trucked. Everyone got ran through and it's 3rd and 33. Another pressure. Another hit on the quarterback. It's 4th and 33. You're going to have to throw a big pass. They're just not even going to come close. I mean, you had to throw a Hail Mary in overtime in college. That's pretty depressing if that's where it ends up coming to. But I don't know what the heck I just watched at the end of that game. SCACCIA, we might have something here. How about 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks? Jabari Bates was up and down. Again, he was really good in the receiving game. 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he's an incredible receiving back. And DeMarco Lane, I mean, since SCACCIA's come in, DeMarco Lane taking another level up as 4 interceptions by the defense. I mean, they took one away from us, so that's crazy. But we're moving to 5 and 7 on the year. I'm pretty satisfied with that to end the season on a 2-game win streak. To have Brett SCACCIA walk in the final 3 games. I mean, the argument could be made, we should have won that New Mexico game. I mean, we had a blocked punt for a touchdown to lose the game. And then the Utah State game earlier in the year, that one could have went our way. But then you could also say, well, the Fresno State game, they missed a field goal in overtime to give us the victory. We had a lot of games that could have swung in either direction. But to go 5 and 7 was not amazing, but I think this team showed enough at the end of the year to give you something to be excited about, mainly at the quarterback position. But DeMarco Lane was also really good as well, and we were also missing Jabari Bates for majority of the season, and to not have your best offensive weapon throughout the entire year is obviously rough. But we will get into the statistics now as... yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear who the better quarterback is. Walter Aguette was bad. I mean, he played 9 games, 9 touchdowns, 9 picks. SCACCIA played 3 games, 8 touchdowns, 2 picks, 9% better in the completion percentage. Yards per attempt were better. I mean, like I said, Aguette just... so it wasn't a situation where it was bad play calling or bad scheming. It was just quarterback play. As Jabari Bates, I mean, no running back did all that good. Messina, Bates, Torrance, all 3.5 yards to carry. Just rough all around. And obviously Aguette doesn't give you anything in the ground game. No one else really gives you anything. I mean, SCACCIA doesn't either. Trayshawn Hurry surprisingly did lead the team in yards. He had some nice games, but it felt like DeMarco Lane was the guy always having the big day. And for DeMarco Lane to have 44 grabs for 800 yards is really impressive. Also, Alonzo Nix at freshman. 3 catches, but 2 touchdowns. But DeMarco Lane was the standout in the receiving game to average almost like 19 yards a grab. Line pretty healthy. Most part, we had some occasional misses, but the line was pretty healthy, just not all that great. Tackles for loss is 2 guys in the double digits. Ethan Powell with 9.5 sacks. You like to see that. Dylan Hampston was the guy who was really our best future piece on the defense last year at freshman. He comes in this year, has an okay year, but gets injured. DJ Harvey, pretty solid year, was a really nice corner for us. Had that big pick 6 to kind of win us a game against San Diego State. Fumbles, okay in that regard. We had a couple turnovers for us, no block kicks, no safeties, defensive touchdown, just the one that we've seen. So you could see some guys miss some games left and right, but overall the defense stayed somewhat healthy. Keenan Ray, freshman kicker, I mean, yeah, that's not good, but freshman kicker will give him another year. We'll give him some leniency. Now we can take a look at what the rest of the nation was doing as Cade Klubnik wins a Heisman, 46 touchdowns, 2 picks, so pretty impressive there. And just to take a quick peek at all the All-Americans, I know some of you guys will care about what the rest of the nation was doing. Obviously, we weren't really familiar with the ranked teams and all the All-Americans because we came nowhere close to having anybody in an All-American team, nowhere close to a top 25 ranking, nowhere close to an award or a playoff. So for the guys that do care, here are some of the fun players that are definitely going to be players we aspire to have on our team one day, players of that caliber, of that level. Now, even when you look at the all-freshman team, you were hoping maybe somebody can make it, maybe a DeMarco Lane for 800 yards, but no freshman team there. And then even when you go to the Mountain West, it's like, okay, well, how many conference All-Americans do you have? You at least have a couple of guys there. You got, you know, a defensive tackle. Okay, there's one. No one else on the first team. And then when you go to the second team, it's like, okay, well, we got one on the first team. And then you go through and it's just nobody. And that's an issue. We just don't have high-level players. We don't have stars. We do get Glenn Square to commit, you know, in that national signing day period. Also for the coaching staff, we already brought in a whole new coaching staff last year. No point in bringing a new one in, any new coaches. Nothing needs to really change there. When it comes to the prestige, yeah, we're going down once again, and we have some players at risk of transferring. And, you know, to remind you once again, we are not going to be convincing anybody to stay. If players want to transfer, they're gone. Georgia wins the national championship. Georgia over USC. So let's go on and see that Zach Swanson, he came in for 1 year and he is immediately leaving. Now, all these transfers don't bother me, except Javier Chote. I was really excited for him at corner, and also the fact that we just need corners. The only guy that is going to hurt is losing Chote. The other guys, you know, losing some juniors. Obviously, we would have looked to keep Swanson for his final season, but I'm not sweating it. Losing that 75 overall corner, that hurts because, again, we need corner help. But now corner's been kind of depleted with graduations and transfers, and we're losing like 24 players, so we're going to have to try to recoup what we can in transfer portal, in recruiting classes. We have a couple of points to spend, and I think to no surprise, we got to work on the offensive line a little bit. We have a lot of stuff spent in strategists, but we have to now get these players to lock in a little bit and actually utilize the skills that they do have. No one's getting drafted, so we had Nick Nash last year. Nobody this year is going to the NFL, to no surprise. And now with everything kind of changing a bit with the play style and everything, we have some deal breakers coming in. But when you look at what the transfer portal is looking like, Jeremiah Smith, I mean, that would have been awesome. But Jeremiah Smith in the transfer portal is ridiculous. And I was shocked to see who was interested in us, because we got some players here. A couple of 4-stars. How about Aiden Childs and Julian Sayin? They're interested in us? What the heck is going on here? Aiden Childs and Julian Sayin. I mean, sure. I mean, obviously we have Brett SCACCIA, and we do not need a quarterback. But when a guy like Julian Sayin or Aiden Childs says, you know what, maybe we want to come here, it would be irresponsible of me, wrong of me, not to at least take a look, not to at least, you know, send out the feelers. I mean, obviously he's looking at like USC, Texas, and other schools like that, but the fact that we're on the board, I don't know what he sees in us. Maybe I don't know. He must really like it down here in San Jose. I don't know what else we really got here compared to schools like USC, but we did throw him on the board. A lot of other players we threw on the board as well, because there's just a lot of transfer portal players that actually want to be here for some reason. So if Julian Sayin comes in, I think that's a good problem to have. Jalen Jones is a player that I'm really excited to potentially bring in as a linebacker freshman season he's coming off of. We also have some receivers, linemen, a lot of guys here, a lot of transfer portal players. I mean, don't know where the interest is coming from, if it's just a locational thing, if it's some of the guys really like the play style that we have. I don't know what they see in our play style. Play style is always such a weird thing, because it's always so determined on like statistics, and statistics don't always determine play style. I mean, you're just because you produce in a certain way doesn't mean you play a certain way. Just, you know, certain things happen the way that they happen. I mean, we want to pass the football more, we want to run the football, we want to run the football better than we did. We just had injuries, and Messina's just not good, so that kind of contributes to the fact that play style for running backs might be low, but it's not because we don't try to run the football. We want to run the football. We just can't. I said that at the beginning that this team wasn't going to attack 4-stars for quite a while, but I do think transfer portal players are a little bit different. I mean, portal players, just because you have like a certain reputation in the portal, a lot of times there are players that transfer away from a big school that are pretty nice players and they go to a small school or a smaller school for a various amount of reasons. I think it's a little bit different than a 4-star player coming out of high school just straight up saying, you know what, let me go to San Jose State. I think it's a little bit different because if it's something like a play style or playing time or location, I think I'm a little bit more open to accepting the transfer portal because there's a reason they do want to come here, and it's, you know, a couple of things that fit what we have. We don't have many good pitches, but if all of the things align, then I think it's a little bit different to go after portal players. And even still, just because we have the 4 stars on the board, I don't think we're getting them. We're going to try, but I don't think we're getting them. Just, you know, something to throw out there because there might be people being like, oh, you said no 4 stars. Well, I don't think we're even really going to get them. We're going to try, obviously, but no guarantees. As you know, we got some players like really on the verge of committing, guys who we're just going to throw a couple of points into. They're probably going to commit after the first week, and then, you know, we're going to have those points to disperse elsewhere. We are graduating. We just did graduate about 25-ish players, so, you know, in order to keep things pretty level, we want to bring in around 20 to 25 players. I mean, I would maybe prefer to bring in a couple more just to have options, but, you know, as long as we can fill out the roster with the full 85 and have everyone, you know, in position and have lots of options, then I'll be good with that. You know, you don't want to go out here and overstuff your roster and put yourself in a position to where, you know, you're forcing yourself to cut guys that you don't want to because you can't cut freshmen. If the freshmen end up stinking and you're forced to keep them, then, well, not much you can really do about that. But after simming the first week, Zach Cornett, D tackle, does commit. We got the cornerback, who is going to be a whole lot of fun. So that's going to be, you know, kind of one of the gem, not just in scouting, but a gem player, a building block, a cornerstone. So as you can see, like I said, these guys, I mean, you're talking to USC. I mean, we'll give it a try, obviously, but you're talking to a school like USC. Why would you go there? Like, why would you go here when you can go there? Like, USC literally just made the national championship. There's no reason for Julian Sayin to really come here. A lot of these other players, the same thing. But Jalen Jones, he's liking it here. He's liking what we're throwing at him, and that would be a huge pickup for us. You know, it doesn't need to be superstar, 4-star type of guys, but for a guy like Jalen Jones to come out here and take our offer, I'd love to see that. Tulsa beating us out for this D end. I do really want some more D linemen. I felt like the sack production was a lot better at the end of the season, but for the first like 8 games, it was pretty rough, and I just like more guys. He's a run stopper, but we also need run stoppers too. You've seen how much we got gashed in the middle of the defense, as we have a speed rusher here. So 6'6", 240 speed rusher. We're gonna see what we can do there. Jackson Harris, a Stanford wide receiver, so he gets to maybe stay in state, come over here. He's gonna have another like 2 years of eligibility on him, and we need some receivers. As you know, DeMarco Lane's pretty good and all, but he is still limited. Like, he has good development, and there is a difference between having good development and having a high ceiling. He has good development. He doesn't have a high ceiling. He's going to hit his ceiling pretty quickly, but his ceiling isn't going to be all that high. And that is one thing I do like about this game, that players have high ceilings, but that doesn't always mean that they're going to hit them. Or players have good development and progress faster, but that doesn't always mean they're going to be great players. You know, there's a lot of progression is not linear. Progression is not the same all across the board. There are different players who progress at different rates and have different ceilings, and that's kind of the fun of this game. So we're out of points here. Going on to the next week, we do not get Julian Sayin. No surprise, but it was still nice to be considered. You know, it's very kind of him to at least accept our calls, which was, I don't know, maybe does that say something? Like, he got all those big-time schools there, and he at least took a call from us. He at least, he accepted a voicemail. He accepted a text. He tried. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe we're doing something right here that someone like Julian Sayin would want to say, you know what, we'll at least hear you out. We're not going to come here, but maybe one day a player like myself will show up at the campus of the school. Maybe we already have that. Maybe Brett SCACCIA will just be that player, and he very well could be. You want to talk about a guy who has, you know, great development, but also a high ceiling, and that's what makes Brett SCACCIA so special, and that makes him one of the best 3-star players that I've ever seen in this game. like genuinely in the hundreds of years of simulations I've done, I haven't seen a 3-star player quite like him. So simming through to the next stage, Jalen Jones from Belmont, Texas is here. Jackson Harris staying in state. So that's pretty big. We didn't get the other receiver. We're not going to get, you know, probably the 4-star guys. There's going to be some other players not committing, you know, deal breakers coming in, but Jalen Jones, Jackson Harris, if those are going to be our 2 big transfer players, if that's going to be who we end up with, I'm happy with that. Not all the players are going to commit to us. Don't expect that, but getting a pretty reliable starting receiver, like a day 1 starting receiver and a day 1 starting linebacker, more than happy with that. I would really like to get Gideon Hasty because, like I said, we need cornerbacks bad, but not looking great. I mean, we're a team where if we get into that 50-50 type thing where, you know, they're in their final 3 and both of you fill up the bar all the way and they just pick the better school, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to be the better school, at least at this stage of the time. So a tie is a loss for us because for a lot of other schools, they'll tie, they'll have all the pitches, they'll have all the deal breakers, they'll be the better school, and it's a win for them. A tie for us is a loss in recruiting. So we're going to probably tie on 1 or 2 of those players, but that's a loss for us. So we're going to hope, but, you know, maybe they could flip their commits. You know, we do keep some guys on the board who verbally commit to, you know, maybe hopefully try to flip their commit, but it's just not, it doesn't happen very often. Very rarely have I had a commit flip in this game in my favor, or even really flip away from me. It doesn't happen that often to me. I don't know how common it happens to you guys. I more so see it between the CPUs. It's happened a couple of times in some previous videos, but very rarely does it happen to me or against me, I guess I should say as well. So we're gonna be wrapping things up with the recruiting, just 30 hours left to spend. We're gonna be just, you know, holding the lead on a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys are gonna be committing, but the last couple of battles we do have, gonna see if we could just give it our all on them. Maybe snag a running back, maybe snag a cornerback, maybe snag some of these other players. We're gonna try to lock things up on Jackson Moy. And the final bit of simming sees Green commit to us, so another transfer portal player. All the other ones, basically, we lost out on. We lost out on Wells as well, but, you know, it only showed us one. We got all these other players, so if you were scared for a second that we only had 1 other player commit, don't be. We had a bunch of others. It just didn't show us them. I think it's because it shows us the players who, you know, we filled out the bar on, but it doesn't show us the players that we happened to be leading on who just committed to us by default, I guess. But we had about, I think, the 43rd class, if I remember, last year, 49th this year, 22 players, all 3 stars. We didn't have any 2 stars this time around. So it's nice to establish a level of consistency to have 2 top 50 classes back to back. You know, in transfers, we were 45th, so, you know, a little bit better. And then the recruiting overall, we were a little bit worse down at 59, but overall that levels out to about a top 50 class that we're happy with. And top of that, that's the best class in the conference. So the outlook for us, pretty nice. 2 straight years, the best Mountain West recruiting class. 2 straight years in the top 50. And the most important part, we check out how good these players are, what their developments are, what we got, what we missed out on as well. That's another thing. So we have a star right guard. That's going to be pretty cool. A lot of these players are unscouted. How about star cornerback, star athlete? So that's 3 stars on the board. That's already huge. We missed out on a normal tight end, so not really sweating that. Impact for that cornerback. He was a gem though. Star, I mean, he had 99 speed, he's 6'2". He's a star as well. That's going to be a building block for this team going forward. Missed out on a normal receiver, not sweating that. Impact safety, I did really like that safety though, so not cool to miss out on him. Kalu, unfortunately normal, was really excited about him. Hasty elite, that hurts a little bit, but transfer, the development doesn't matter as much. Green, star dev, and then we have another set of impacts. So no elites this time, but a couple of stars and a couple of players to be excited about. We go through the athletes. Bradley Joy, one of them. He is a star player. He is a quarterback, you know, like recommended to be a quarterback, but he can do some other stuff as well. I mean, if his zone coverage was a bit better, I wouldn't mind putting him at DB, but he's a wide receiver, I think. I think he's a vertical threat wide receiver, and I think with the star development, he could definitely turn into something nice. A couple of the other athletes here, guys who aren't as high dev type of players. We're looking at a linebacker, 6 foot. Kalu, If he had better development, I was happy to put him at wide receiver, but for the high floor, lower development, we're going to put him at cornerback, see if he could play early on. We're not going to need to cut anybody, so that moves us on to the Season 3, where we will take a peek at the development of these players, where Brett SCACCIA jumped up a solid plus a 97 throw power. Keep in mind, redshirt freshman, elite dev, and he still has all this room to grow, and he's already maxed out throw power. He is the starter for next year. No surprise, but he's looking incredible. Storm Torrens, going to be the number 2 running back. Jabari Bates, I mean, hopefully he could stay healthy. He's pretty nice. He just needs to stay healthy, and if he can, I am pretty excited for what the backfield could look like for us. We did get a proper fullback this year. And then Trayshawn Hurry, Jackson Harris going to be the 2 starting receivers. Jackson Harris, 79 overall junior, so we're going to have him for 2 years, and he's still got a little bit of room to grow. He could be a pretty nice player. Like, there's not a 0% chance he could be like a mid-80s overall type of player. And then DeMarco Lane was the standout receiver this past year. But here's what I meant. Star development, I talked about him earlier. He has star development, but he's already maxed out. So yeah, he has great development, but he's already hit his ceiling. Now, he's still going to play. I know he's a little bit buried overall-wise. He's still going to be our number 3 receiver. Like, we're still going to play him because he is good, and the overall difference between the rest of those guys isn't that big, like 79 down to 75. And we know DeMarco Lane, he's played well. He was arguably the best performing receiver last year. So then Bradley Joy, star development, but let's look at his ceiling. Route running is there. IQ is there. His hands are going to be a little questionable, but an 8 out of 10 route runner, 9 out of 10 IQ. He looks like a guy who could be an 80 plus overall down the line, which that's going to be pretty nice if he can eventually become a number 2 type of receiver for us. Tight end, we got a couple of guys here, a couple of options. Edward Dove is the best overall. He's not going to start. He's the number 2. I don't want to start a blocking tight end as a straight up number 1. The straight up starting tight end is going to be Paul Campbell. I'm going to actually roll with him as the number 1 tight end. He has a little bit more room to grow, mostly maxed out, but solid possession, safety blanket type of tight end. Offensive line, it's looking a lot better this year. 85 overall at left tackle, 84 overall at left guard. On top of that, we have a couple of other players. We have some solid depth. I mean, we also have a nice overall boost. Even these guys who are high 70s are going to be playing at an 80 overall. So across the board with boosts and everything, 80 plus overall offensive line. Hampton is going to be an 84 overall, which is nice to see. And he has developed pretty solidly. He still has a ways to go. Just impact dev, but could be something nice for us when he eventually gets to be a senior, and could be a potential NFL guy. Green, one of our transfer players, is a star development, but a junior, so he's only going to have 1 more year of development. But a guy, if he, again, hits a nice, like, chain of development this season and into next year, could be like a mid-80s type of player. We lost Swanson, replaced him with Jackson Moy. We have Jalen Jones, who's going to be a lot of fun. Impact dev player who has a lot of years left in him on this team. So could we have another cornerstone type of piece on the defense? Jaleel Bloom, I mean, the only benefit to him getting a season-ending injury was it happened early in the year, so we did get to have, I guess, like a medical red shirt on him. So he's going to be a redshirt freshman, jumped up like 7 overalls, and that's your new starting middle linebacker right there. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Brian Mangum, another player from last year's recruiting class, impact dev, power rusher. So we have some edge rush help on the way. And I think this team, you can really see a lot better than last year, a lot better and a lot more exciting. Cornerback, though, is where we took a step back. We have not much. I mean, a lot of freshmen. Like I said, corner was a position I was recruiting heavily, and it didn't help that we lost Javier Chote to a transfer portal, and then we lost one of our only upperclassmen guys to a transfer portal. And Kolomotanji is going to be that high floor type of player. He's a normal dev. Keon Dixon as a star development will play too, and we also have that 6'2", 99 speed corner. You can let me know who you think should start at corner. Like, it's going to be a pretty open competition. We have a lot of guys here, so you can take a look at him. Star development, 6'2", 99 speed, and a lot of room to be better. So, like, we could start him. I mean, who do you think should start at corner? I think that's the bigger question here compared to last year, is who should start at quarterback? Who should start a corner this year? I mean, there's just so many options, and I think the 99 speed dudes kind of at least give us a try to start him at the outside corner spot. I mean, he's got the speed at least. Another safety here too, potential, 50-50 on if he could become a future star for us. Keenan Ray at kicker. Not good last year, missed 10 kicks, but a little bit better this year, a little bit more accuracy. Still not accurate overall, but got some punter depth as well. But that's the roster for this season. And when you combine that with what the schedule's going to look like, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the video at this length. If you liked the little bit of an extended cut, a couple extra plays, 20 extra minutes, you know, get to see everything going down here. If you want me to trim this down back to like about an hour, or you're cool with hour and a half, maybe more than that, less than that, let me know what you all think. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and like, comment, and subscribe, as all that stuff is super helpful. And I will see you guys all in the next one.